Thank you, thank you. Welcome back to Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. Today, we are going to take a look at dividing integers. It is eerily similar to how we multiplied integers. We're going to use the same type of methods in here to solve these types of problems. Let's take a look. When dividing integers, the quotient of two integers with different signs is negative. The quotient of two integers with the same signs is positive. Same thing with our multiplication. We're following the same type of rules. Again, I've made you guys a handy dandy little list here. If we have a positive divided by a positive, it's positive. If we have a positive divided by a negative, it's negative. If I have a negative divided by a positive, it's negative, and a negative divided by a negative is going to be positive. So again, we're following those same type of rules we did with multiplication, only we're now applying division into that concept. Let's take a look at a couple practice problems up here. If I have a 3 divided by a negative 3. Again, I'm going to do the division first. 3 divided by 3 would be 1. A positive and a negative is going to be negative, so my answer to this problem up here is going to be negative 1. In our second problem, negative 15 divided by negative 3. Well, 15 divided by 3 is 5. A negative and a negative is a positive, so negative 15 divided by the quantity of negative 3 becomes a positive 5. Our last one here, 28 divided by 7 is 4. A positive and a negative becomes negative, so the answer to this problem would be negative 4. Now, a good way to check yourself is to kind of work these problems backwards. If I turn this into a multiplication problem, negative 1 times a negative 3 would be a positive 3. Positive 5 times a negative 3 would be negative 15. And a negative 4 times a negative 7 would be a positive 28. So when I'm working these problems and I'm asking myself, did I get the right sign? I can always reverse the problem and turn it into a multiplication problem to double check my work. And that can be really helpful when solving these types of problems. Alright, back to my favorite part of this video. Again, paper, pencil. Pause that video and see if you guys can tackle these 3 problems. We'll see if I can stump you. Okay, in these problems you should have gotten 36 divided by 6, which is 6. A positive and a negative is a negative, so 36 divided by the quantity of negative 6 equals negative 6. Again, if I check it over, negative 6 times negative 6 would be positive 36. In our second problem, 12 divided by 4 is 3. A negative and a negative is a positive. To double check my work, positive 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And our last problem, 22 divided by 11 is 2. A positive and a negative is a negative. So, if I check it, negative 2 times negative 11 would be positive 22. Again, double checking your work is just an extra step to make sure that you guys have done the problem correctly. Sometimes you might see an error in the sign that you guys have made as you're doing this. Thank you once again for tuning into Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. As always, guys, we will see you next time.